The Celtics rally back in overtime. They get the win 133-128, and they steal game one, a game that the Pacers had right up until they rode the vomit comet in the late stages of the fourth quarter there. Jayson Tatum had 36 points. I didn't think he played all. Well, he had 36 points, though, 10 in overtime. And the Celtics get the win. Drew Holiday, a season-high 28 points for Boston there. They take a 1-0 series lead in the conference finals. Game 2 will be on Thursday back in Boston. But the better story, you know where it is, the losing locker room. And, oh, how great, the nectar of the gods, what happened in this game. So the question, did the Celtics win the game because Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum stepped up, or did the Pacers lose the game? Yeah, I think you know the answer. I've got nonstop flight, presidential, and Switzerland. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make the Boston cream pie, which is what the Celtics threw at the face of the Indiana basketball team. My God. To answer the question, if you didn't see it, I'll walk you through it, but this is clearly pointing the direction of the team from the Hoosier State. Woo! That was a cosmic struggle at the end of the game. You had one job. At the end of the game. You couldn't do it. Indiana's up 3 with 10 seconds to go in the game. Got a 3-point lead. You just inbound the ball. The Celtics are going to give you a foul. You make one of the foul shots. For all intents and purposes, the game's over. You had possession of the ball. Possession is 9/10 of victory. And you screwed it up. It's just wonderful. And then you screwed it up again. So the game was in the bag. And then the Pacers decide, you know what we're going to do? We're going to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And they did. They took defeat from the jaws of victory. Very impressive. Now, Tyrese Halliburton, in the late stages there and over, he dribbled the ball off his foot in a big moment. What a klutz, as my grandfather would say. But the real dunce cap of dunce caps goes to someone named Andrew Nebhard, who is booking a flight on it's a one-way flight. It's a nonstop one-way flight. Nonstop flight, one-way, Panic City, because that's where he was. He was at Panic City. Nebhard, on the inbounds play with 10 seconds to go in the game, did the thing you can't do at the time you can't do it. A terrible pass, and then it bounced off Pascal Siakam, our favorite player on the Indiana basketball team. But overall, final 5:30 of regulation, Indy had more turnovers than field goals made. And the moment was too big. They choked. That's an absolute choke. It's not the Celtics were the better team. This game was there for Indiana. It was right there. And they gave it back. If you want to crown them, you can crown their ass, the Celtics, but they didn't play well. All right, now, post-game, Jaylen Brown was less than pleased in his post-game media situation there with the Celtics' overall performance. He was asked what the difference was in overtime. In fact, we have the audio on this. Do we have Jaylen Brown? Yes? All right, we have Jaylen. We do not. Koopa Loop did not get the sound. I sent it to him an hour and a half ago. All right, well, I'll just tell you what he said. So when asked what was different in overtime for the Celtics, Jaylen Brown said, quote, JT finally woke up, meaning Jayson Tatum, made some baskets. Can you decode this one? So it's rather obvious. I wish you could hear it, but apparently you can't. But anyway, listen, Jaylen Brown did not nibble around the edges. He said it post-game. He said it. And the way I decoded this, and I have a decoder ring, is he got a mulligan. Jayson Tatum was given a presidential pardon. This was a hollow win by the Celtics. Tatum missed a wide-open pull-up 3-ball. If you saw it with 36 seconds to go, that is forgotten because Boston won the game. But he missed a wide-open 3-point shot with 36 seconds to go. And in the fourth quarter, it's a 1-point game going to the fourth quarter, but Jayson Tatum took 7 shots from the floor and missed 5 of them. I didn't play in the NBA, but I don't think that's good. He was bailed out. He was bailed out by a bad pass by Indiana, and Jaylen Brown taking and making a three-point shot while Pascal Siakam, not only did they not foul, Siakam put his hands behind his back. But he's like, I'm going to put my hand, like I'm being handcuffed. I'm putting my hands behind my back because I do not want to get called for a foul when you should have just tackled Jaylen Brown. But hey, that's not after the fact. I was screaming at my television as was happening. What are you doing? It's a bad job by you. But Jayson Tatum, 36 points. It's another one of these weird things. It happens a lot in sports where someone has a sexy stat line and the uneducated fan, the fan that doesn't know what they're watching, or they're just fanboys, he played so well. Jayson Tatum had 36 points and didn't play well. He took 26 shots. He got 10 from the charity stripe, but 26 points on 26 field goal attempts, which is not very efficient. Forget saved by the bell. How about also saved by the referees? Tony Brothers should get a game ball, and his crew from Joe Mazzulla. Tony Brothers should absolutely get a game ball. 24 of 30 from the charity stripe, the Boston basketball team. Indiana was 9 of 10. So clearly, Boston took many more shots around the basket. That's why they got fouled, unless they didn't. The Celtics attempted 45 three-point shots. 45. Indiana took a lot, too, 35. This was some old-fashioned meddling by the officials. Now, Indiana also turned the ball over. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Indiana didn't play well. They had the game. They blew it, even with all that. But both teams were sloppy. Both teams were sloppy. Boston happened to have a night watchman with a whistle to help them. So you had that. All right, last word here. So in the lead-up to this game, Indiana's Myles Turner, who I believe he looked like Reggie Miller in the first half. Maybe I was imagining that. But Myles Turner of the Pacers said that everybody's a quote, everybody and their mother is rooting for the Celtics. Is that how you see it? So I contemplated this because I have no life, and I determined that this is Bolshoi, as they say in Russia, the Bolshoi Ballet. So I'm going to shake my head no on this. The Celtics are not media darlings. Now, they have more of a national fan base because there are people who are from Boston that live all over the country. There's people that like the Celtics because they've won more championships than anybody in the NBA. All their championships is Boston. Lakers count the ones from Minnesota, which is fraudulent. We all know that. So the Celtics have the most championships. But the Celtics are not the darling of the NBA right now. And if you're talking about Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island, and part of Connecticut, because there's that weird point of demarcation where, like, part of Connecticut likes New York sports, and then there's part that like the Boston sports. But I think it's more New York than Boston when I've been there. Anyway, the rest of the country, you look at the Celtics and you're like, it's like Switzerland. You're neutral as can be when it comes to you don't really hate them. They're not really hateable like some old Celtic teams. And you also like the chocolate. You like eating chocolate. You like that, just like Switzerland. But outside of ex-Bostonians, it's not universal support. Jayson Tatum, for all the accolades that he's gotten over his career as the face of the Celtics, does not have that widespread slobber where everyone genuflects to him. And the Celtics team, they have not yet captured the heart, mind, and soul of the average jabroni. Now, if they win and they do it with gusto and razzmatazz, we're going to have that happen. Because that's part of the package. That's the all-inclusive package when you win a championship. The bandwagoner, as our old friend Blair in Maine used to say, that fan will go gaga. And we saw it with Golden State when they had their run. And we'll see what transpires here with the Celtics. But if they win, then, of course, that will be the case. But right now, to answer Myles Turner's question, I don't see it that way.